The attack on Club Q and the LGBTQI community is not an isolated incident, but part of a broader trend of violence and intimidation across our country.
Democrats, as usual, have intentionally jumped to conclusions while ignoring the facts. Why? Because it's politically convenient to blame your political opponents. It's easier to blame Republicans than have a serious discussion about the rise in violent crimes across the nation, including this individual's horrendous crimes at Club Q in Colorado. It's easier, but it's also irresponsible and reckless.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
On November 19, 2022, a deranged shooter entered Club Q armed with an assault rifle, a pistol, an incredibly disturbing amount of ammunition, and an even more disturbing amount of hatred in their heart, all while cowardly hiding behind a bulletproof vest. This shooter entered our safe space in our home with the intention of killing as many people as possible, as quickly as possible. They used a military-style weapon that exists solely for the intention of killing other human beings and began to hunt us down as if our lives meant nothing.
It also illustrates how much damage can be done when you take hate and access to military-style assault weapons. Putting those together is total carnage. We were lucky that night that the casualties were not much higher. My husband and I had the honor to attend the White House ceremony for the signing of the Respect for Marriage Act yesterday. It was honestly the first joy and pride I have felt since these horrific events at Club Q. And while the protections for marriage, like my own, were signed into federal law, I could not help but reflect that 169 members of Congress voted against that bill. We are being slaughtered and dehumanized across this country in communities you took oaths to protect. LGBTQ issues are not political issues. They are not lifestyles. They are not beliefs. They are not choices. They are basic human rights. And so I ask you today, not simply, what are you doing to safeguard LGBTQ Americans, but rather, what are you or other leaders doing to make America unsafe for LGBTQ people?
I fell over on the ground knowing I had been shot in my right arm. It wasn't working, but I was able to call 911. I saw everyone on the ground, glass panes shattered, and blood running from my arm and chest where shrapnel had come through. John Carlos was next to me, shot in the leg, but thankfully alive. To my horror, my sister, Charlene, was bleeding out. She had been shot over 5 times. My heart rended as she tried to dial 911 with her good arm outstretched. I called out to her, and I heard no response.